Hey everybody, what's up? It's Marnie Semick. I hope you're having a magical day today. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about funnels. I know it's our favorite thing, right? Some talk about funnels are dead. This is not true. A funnel is like the oldest marketing system on the planet, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's a digital funnel too. A funnel is a series of events that your prospect goes through, a cold prospect will go through in order to become a buyer. So even in the markets, hundreds of years ago in the trade markets or whatever back in the day, there was always a funnel system of people going from one step to another step to get them from a cold prospect to a buyer. So a funnel has existed for a really long period of time. And I just made all of that up. So go ahead and verify everything I'm saying right now. But it makes sense to me, right? It's intuitive. A funnel is a series of events that you take someone through to get them to trust you. Okay. And so when we're talking about digital marketing funnels, a funnel is a series of events, which could be an opt-in page that leads them to a video page, which then leads them to an email sequence, right? Several email sequences over a long period of time. Now, when you get tricky and you get advanced marketing funnels, like I teach and like I have, you take people through a customer journey, okay? And a customer journey means that a customer will take an action and then a different action happens. And all of this can be automated on the back end. And so you can get super tricky with it on the back end. So your customer takes this action and then maybe you send them into a new email sequence, or maybe you send them a quiz, or maybe you can do all kinds of things with funnels, right? So a funnel is a series of events that you take a cold prospect through in order to get them to be a paying customer. And so when you think about it that way, if you think about what your own funnel is, unless you've had a professional like myself or somebody else to put together and think through your customer journey, I'm guessing maybe you don't really even have a proper funnel in place. They're like, oh, a funnel? What's a funnel? Well, I have a freebie that I give people. And it's like, oh. So you give them a freebie. Well, then what happens? And it's like, well, what do you mean? It's like, well, you send them an email. Do you send them into an email sequence? Oh, no, I don't have that set up yet. So these are the basics of a funnel. So let's kind of break it down. Okay, today we're talking about funnels, and we're talking about, should I have a funnel? Of course you should have a funnel. If you want clients and you want paying customers, you're going to have a funnel. Okay. And so let's break it down. So, well, why do we need a funnel in the first place? Well, we need a funnel if we want to sell things. So do you want to sell things online? So you're going to need a funnel. Do you have an offer? Are you sure what your offer is? Let's talk about the messaging of the offer. Some of the mistakes that I see with some of my clients, they're like, oh, my funnel isn't working, but it doesn't have anything to do with their offer. And it's not very clear. So messaging is really important when we're talking about this customer journey, okay? So a lot of coaches will come into my experience, or I see a lot of talk online about, oh, my funnel isn't working, or Kajabi doesn't work, or this platform doesn't work, but it doesn't have anything to do with that. It has to do with the messaging. So we have to get a little bit more clear on what your messaging is. And how do we do that? Well, we have to define what your offer is. So the most success that I see with my clients, and also with my own business, if we get really very specific on what the marketing angle is and what the offer is and what the messaging is. So step one really is clarity. Okay. So clarity, offer clarity, audience messaging clarity. You have to try not to go to market with 1,000 different offers. You can do that, but you're just going to confuse your audience. If you keep talking about different offers all of the time, your customer is not going to know what to buy because they don't have offer clarity, right? So decide one offer. Like, what is your biggest hit? What is your biggest hit offer? Double down on that. Go to market with that one offer. So if you go to market with that one offer, then you need audience clarity. Who are you selling it to? Niche down even further, okay? You're like, oh, well, I'm selling to people who want to get a transformation in their life. It's like, Wake me when you're done because I'm bored already. Okay. Like people are like people. How many people are on this planet? There's a lot of people on this planet. So I think you're going to have to niche it down a little bit more. Okay. So think about who do you help and why? Specifically, don't use people like I help men or I help women. Excuse me. Don't use words like I help men or I help women. That's too general. That's too broad. Who do you help? Think about when you're thinking about your audience, think about one person, your favorite client that you help. Who is that person? And then start to use words that describe that person. Just talk to one person because there are other people like that one person. But if you speak to everyone, you're speaking to no one, you'll sell nothing. Okay. So offer clarity, audience clarity, and then messaging clarity. So when you're talking to this person, you have to pick one particular angle. It's called a marketing angle. So there's a lot of different ways to get to a person to sell an offer, but you have to have an angle. So let's say, for example, if I'm selling, money manifestation, it's pretty broad, pretty general. So maybe I want to niche down a little bit more. So money manifestation for who? Okay, money manifestation for coaches, money manifestation for TEDx speakers, money manifestation for authors, money manifestation for therapists. See where I'm going with this? You want to get really specific with what your audience is, your offer, your audience, and your messaging. So get really clear on those three things. And then we want to get real clear on what our opt-in and our hook is. So make sure that the entire journey, the entire customer flow that you have for this person, the words and the visuals are all the same hook and all the same language and all the same marketing angle, right? So you're not confusing your customer through that journey. You don't want imagery in one, like the ad, for example, and then you take them to a page where the images are completely different because that will cause confusion. And we don't want confusion in our funnels. We want clarity. Okay. So the opt-in, the hook, the VSL, and the email nurturing structure all need to have the same angle in them. So again, going back to my introduction about what funnels are and that whole customer journey, you have to make sure that the language you're using and the marketing angles that you're using in that customer journey and that funnel are all the same thing. It's that same line of thinking to the same person because you're selling one offer, right? So get really clear on what that line of thinking is. And I think you're going to have more success and you're going to sell more things. Sometimes when people, coaches, experts, therapists, TEDx speakers, authors, people come into my experience and they're like, oh, well, my funnel's not working. And I'm like, okay, well, where's your funnel? How do I get to it? And I have to it's buried on their website. And then I go to it and I'm confused and I'm a marketing expert. So we're trying to offer clarity, be super clear. You want to sell one thing to one person at one time, one thing to one person at one time. Okay. So offer clarity is super important. So once you get the line figured out and you've sold your offer to a warm and hot audience, now you can look at scale. Okay, what do I mean by scale? Now that means you can go to, a cold audience is when you're running ads to a particular funnel, a proven line of thinking, a proven customer journey. When you get some metrics that the thing is working because you've sold an offer using that funnel, now you can double down and now you can spend more money on it. Okay, so you can't really ramp up an ad spend until you have the proven metrics behind it. You got to prove that your theory, the offer that you want to sell, the message to that audience is working. And so you need data for that. Okay. So my general recommendation is after we build funnels for clients and platforms and all the stuff, we have them go and sell to their hot and their warm audience first, just to make sure that we're selling the thing through the funnel. And sometimes we do need to pivot because it's not landing with the audience. Okay. So after you've sold to this warm and hot audience, now you can go to a cold audience and you can spend money on Facebook ads or Google search ads or YouTube ads or whatever. Okay. So if you don't want to do any of this and you want to hire a team to do it for you, this is what we do. This is what we get a lot of joy and satisfaction. And we do it specifically for coaches and experts. We build funnels, we build platforms, we build Kajabi tech platforms, we build websites, we run SEO and Google ads and Facebook ads for coaches and experts who want to reach more people with their life's purpose, their way of helping the world. And so if any of this is resonating with you and you want somebody who gets it, then we want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. So there'll be some information down below in the description. Would love to hear from you. Would love for you to check out my free masterclass. I have a couple of free masterclass. I have a free masterclass with an overview of how to start a coaching or an expert-based business online. If you're a conscious coach, that's a really good one to watch. I'll drop the link here. And the second one is how to launch using Kajabi, our specific launch strategy using Kajabi, which is a platform that people use to launch their digital courses and coaching platforms, expert-based platforms. It's like an all-in-one kit and caboodle solution. Kajabi is a great solution. We have built hundreds of these for our clients. So I've got a couple of free resources for you. Go ahead and check them out below. As always, I'm just a person on the internet saying things. And so I hope this was helpful in some way. I'm sending you lots of love and joy and peace and prosperity on your journey today. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I'm here for you and I'm sending you lots of love. Bye for now.